In my opinion, tier lists are just YouTube at its best, simplicity. And I wanted to make these kind of videos. Now, I'm a big fan of anything that is funny. So, comedy TV shows fall into this category. And if you can't tell from my accent, I am English. So, this video is going to be me ranking every British comedy show that I've watched. I've got 30 here. It includes like the biggest ones, I feel like. You can see them on the screen now. We're going to run through them one by one. And here's the tiers. At the top, we're going to put one show in the GOAT tier. In A, this is the best of the rest, like close to perfect, just not the number one. In the B tier, we're looking at the still very good shows. And C tier is where you would be recommending the shows to other people to watch. D tier is okay, you can watch it, but I wouldn't recommend it. I'm more passive about that show. E, the meh shows, I don't really get them. And F tier is just the crap shows, basically. So I'm going to run through these one by one. Let's just get into the video. So let's start off with Afterlife. I'm going to do this all alphabetically. This is a Ricky Gervais show that was on Netflix, and this show did really well. It had that mix of a good story, good comedy, but also those serious moments that a lot of people might be able to relate to. It did feel like a very real show. It's not just silly and goofy with forced comedy. This was like it felt like a real story, except it had like those moments in there. Like Ricky Gervais's character's obviously very funny, how he goes around roasting people. You've got like the therapist in this as well, who's just like probably still steals the show really, and you got a load of other side characters that have their role in it. The only thing with this show, I think it's better objectively than it is in my own mind, if that makes sense. So I didn't enjoy the show as much as everyone else did, but I get why everyone enjoyed it. For me, the only thing that brings it down is those like really serious moments, like the dark moments, especially in the first season. Obviously, the show is based around a guy who wants to end his life because his wife died. It obviously has those difficult moments, and I appreciate it. This is all completely personal taste. It just was difficult for me to watch, but it was really funny and well written as well. So I'm going to put this in the B tier just because I don't think I could watch the episodes all the way through. But that is my own thing. I fully get why people might have this higher up in the list, and it is funny. It's well written. I love watching like the clips on YouTube and stuff of the moments that are a bit more like they're designed to make you laugh. It is a good show objectively. Bad Education is a weird one because I used to watch the show when I was younger, but having like rewatched it and looking back, I think just in general, Jack Whitehall's comedy just doesn't really do it for me. If I'm being honest with you, I don't know why when I was younger it did, but yeah, this show I'll put it in a D tier. I don't think it's awful. I don't think it's a bad show objectively. I think it's the humor. It just isn't really for me. Jack Whitehall, I think he's fine, but he's not really that funny, and he's obviously the main character. It has its moments, the show, and like I say, it's not bad. If someone put it on, I wouldn't cry over it, but I definitely wouldn't be going around saying, "Oh, have you watched Bad Education? You need to watch it." No, it's just sort of there. Benidorm is the most difficult one to rank possibly because if we're going to talk about the first like four seasons of this show, we're talking the A tier. But if we're going to talk about the fifth season to the end, you're looking like maybe D, maybe even lower. Like those later seasons were really, really bad to watch. I think as soon as Joyce Temple Savage got introduced into this show, it kind of just started to go a bit downhill for me. Like the fifth season had its moments, it was okay, but after that, it was just pretty trash. The Garveys are obviously really funny in this. Jeff the Oracle back in the early seasons was probably arguably the best character. I mean, the swingers they were like in top form in the early seasons. Mateo, before they started to really like make him one of the main characters, he was like a good villain, I guess, kind of in the show. But then he started to just get more and more watered down as the show went on. Obviously, like Martin as well, I thought was like a good contributor to the show. Gavin and Troy, this show had so many good characters, and like I say, the first three seasons especially were top tier. The fourth was pretty good, fifth was all right, and then after that, it just went to shit really. But when I do level it out and I take the top moments from those early days, I think I'm going to put this in the B tier. It's still a good show. I would just put an asterisk next to it and say, don't watch it past a certain point because it does get unbearable to watch. I just think they replaced those early characters with just not interesting characters. Like the family they put in replacing the Garveys were just a bit like meh. And like Kenneth became one of the main characters, and he was all right at the start as a side character, and then he just got unbearable. I feel like, and the characters that they did keep in, they just got less and less interesting and more boring. So yeah, that's where I'm going to put the show, and it is pretty relatable. It does get a bit goofy at times as well, like some of the things that happen, like it feels like a bit forced. Some of like the comedic situations that happen, but there are a lot of good ones as well. Like I just think in general, like with Jeff, with the whole like blind dating stuff, if you remember that episode, things like that were really funny to watch. His like mom doing the YMCA on the stage, those situations they were funny along with like Mateo, like he was just sleeping with everyone, like that. Yeah, this was like vintage TV back in the day. Next up, we got Car Share, the first Peter Kay show that we're going to talk about, and this is a solid show. I'll put it in like the C tier. I don't think it was amazing, but I think it was solid enough to have on. The concept was very simple. They just sat in a car talking, so I do appreciate when they make a good show out of little stimulants around them, if that makes sense. This just has to be perfectly written, otherwise, nothing's going to be interesting about the show. The whole dogging misunderstanding was probably the highlight of the show, and I feel like there's good chemistry between the two main characters in this as well. So, yeah, I'll put it in a C tier. I haven't got too much else to say. Next up, we got Come Fly With Me. The definition of a controversial show literally got banned. Luckily, I got the DVD still, so you ain't going to stop me watching this show. This is A tier for sure. The only thing with this show is that we only got 6 episodes, but like the legacy that it leaves in just 6 episodes, I respect it even more. Like, I wish we would have got more of this. I feel like there's so many like I can't believe there was only 6 episodes because the amount of memes and moments this show produced, it was like the equivalent of a show that had like dozens of episodes, like which kind of says everything good about the show. Like I don't think it stopped in terms of being funny. Like it was just constant, like skit after skit after skit. Every character was just had something different about them, and obviously they had their controversies about. They had characters for pretty much every background, every sexuality, every race, every kind of like personality type, and people started getting offended about certain ones, but they were creating characters out of everyone. But if this show offends you, that's your problem. This created so many funny moments in such small amount of time. Characters like Taj, Moses, Precious, Tommy the pilot, like the immigration officer, again, someone who's really controversial, but they've literally written him in to take the mick out of how ignorant he is. Like, I don't get how people get so rattled over just a bit of comedy. This show's elite. I'll talk about Little Britain, which it kind of followed on from, but this is clear of Little Britain. Unpopular opinion, but this deserves more.
Have you seen Avatar? You haven't seen Avatar? You're gay, man. I'm not being funny. You are gay.
I had cock a van last night.
All right.
Yeah. My friends just bought a transit.
Right, where were their parents originally from?
Pakistan.
Pakistan. We're getting somewhere. Right, so if there was a cricket match between England and Pakistan, who would you support?
How is that an act of God?
God made it back here.
Next up, we've got Derek, another Ricky Gervais show based in an old people's home. Features Carl Pilkington. It features the guy who was also in Afterlife, the hoarder. I forget what his name is, but he's basically plays the same character. This is a good show as well. Not like, again, my favourite, but solid enough. I'll put it in the C tier because I definitely wouldn't say no to watching it through or saying if people should watch it. Yeah, it has its moments for sure. Okay, and Early Doors, I feel like I should speak about Royal Family first because this is basically the Timu version of Royal Family. I don't know, this show's not amazing. I feel like the characters are a bit watered down. It's the same sort of writing and the same sort of comedy. It's just the characters are just less interesting to me. That being said, I'd probably just sneak it into the D tier just about. I think it definitely wasn't a cringe show or anything because it's just realistic. It doesn't rely on overly overdone gags or unrealistic situations. It is just dialogue in a pub, basically. So it does have that right ability to it. I just don't think the characters were funny enough to deliver what they were going for. But it's not too bad. So we'll put in a D tier. Then we got extras. Oh, I'm tempted to put this in the B tier. It's definitely C. Yeah, I'm gonna put this in like the low of the B tier because I rewatched this recently, and yeah, this is a really underrated show in my opinion. Ricky Gervais again. This is like 20 years old, this show, but it definitely holds up. I think especially the first season was the highlight of this show, where every episode seemed to have a guest star like Hollywood actor or actress, and it created like some really good episodes where they'd kind of rewrite those real life people. The Kate Winslet and Daniel Radcliffe episodes, especially, are the funniest in my opinion. So obviously Ricky Gervais's character's playing a extra trying to get into the TV and movie business as a professional actor. And in the second season he does start to get get that. And I don't think it's as funny, but it's definitely still entertaining. And his agent as well, played by Stephen Merchant, is possibly the funniest character in the show. So yeah, this is a good show. Father Ted, it is kind of it's based in Ireland, but it's a British written show, I think. So it's a controversial one. I don't know if this counts or not, but I'll put it in here. I feel like it's of the same kind of genre and humor as some of the shows in this list. That being said, I don't really. It's not really for me. I don't get the humor, honestly, from what I've seen of it. I won't say it's completely terrible. There are worse shows, but yeah, it's just not really for me. To my memory, I think there's like a laughing track in the background, which is a bit of a miss as well. I'm going to put this in the E tier. I don't really understand the hype on Father Ted. The same can be said about Fresh Meat, but for different reasons. I just found this show boring, honestly. It's listed as a comedy, but it tries to be dramatic at times. So it's based in a university, and you've got a load of uni students who are obviously from different backgrounds or whatever. But it's just a bit artsy, and I don't know. I don't really even remember laughing that much with this show. Jack Whitehall's character is probably the funniest, and like what I said with Bad Education, I don't think he's that funny, but his character did carry whatever there was of the show, and I just didn't really resonate with any of the characters. I don't think any of them were particularly likable or that interesting, really. Even though they all kind of went for that image of being like cool, I just didn't really care, honestly. And it's a long show as well, and I really don't know why they made so many episodes of this. And I feel like it's not like a really unknown show either. Like I think it's pretty popular, but yeah, I just don't get it. Getting in Friday night dinner, I will put it into the B tier, but it does kind of fall under that unrealistic, goofy comedy at times. There are some things that happen where you're like, well, yeah, you've just thumbed that in, like you've really forced that situation, and it just isn't funny. But it is well written at points. The characters generally have like good chemistry, like a family having dinner every Friday. It's a good concept, and the characters all play their own role. The parents and then the two sons. You've got the weird neighbor who's always like visiting every day, trying to like build a friendship or whatever, or be part of their family. So it has its moments. Again, like Jim, I think is the best character in the show. That being said, I think sometimes his stupidity and clumsiness is a bit forced. But yeah, I think this is a good enough show. Apart from the last season was pretty trash, to be honest. But and it also is quite a quotable show as well. I will give them that. It is like quite memorable in that aspect in terms of some of the things that happen. It does have its moments. Now we got Gavin and Stacey. I did a video on the final special that they did of this show, and I gave it a good review. The actual series itself is even better. So yeah, those first three seasons of Gavin and Stacey are brilliant. The Christmas special, Then they did the 2 specials towards the end as well, which kind of just gave you closure on the series and how they all ended up. I can't really knock Gavin and Stacey. I don't get why some people don't like this show. I just love the chemistry between all the characters. They all have their own differences and their own like quirky, unique personalities. The 2 cultures are like clashing in Wales and Essex. Nessa, Smithy, Pam, Bryn. These are just great characters in general. So I can't really say anything bad about Gavin and Stacey. I think this is an A-tier show. It's not the GOAT, but it's certainly in the top 5 in my opinion. So yeah, it's definitely one I'd be saying, yeah, you need to watch.
Oh, what's the kidding?
Chicken boner, lamb boner, prawn boner, mushroom rice, bag of chips, keema naan and 9 poppadoms.
Slag! No, you slag! You slag! You slag! Shut it, you slag!
Okay, now Idiot Abroad, where Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant came up with the unreal idea to send Cole Pilkington around the world and get him commentating on the different cultures that he's experiencing. Genuinely a masterstroke in TV, and just getting Cole Pilkington and just put him into the mainstream was just genius. Idiot Abroad is A-tier. Those first 2 seasons were elite. As someone who loves traveling and just has interest in other cultures, but you've got like this really like broad northern guy who's just saying whatever's on his mind and just coming up with these unreal like one-liners. This is genius. The only thing about this show is that the 3rd season, when they brought Warwick Davis in, it just didn't really work for me. You're just taking limelight away from Cole Pilkington, and Warwick didn't add anything at all to the show, in my opinion. That's the only thing, but those first 2 seasons are enough to put it in this tier. I think it was, yeah, it's for what they were going for. Yeah, it's pretty elite.
Have you seen me? What a knobhead I look. Everything chicken. Why is it orange in Chinatown? Oh, fuck me. Jesus.
And now the Inbetweeners. A lot of people's favourite show. A lot of people think it's the best show that Britain has produced. So the question is, where do I stand on the Inbetweeners? And for me, this is 100% the GOAT of British TV. Easily. No question. All the shows in the A-tier are brilliant in their own right, but the Inbetweeners is just another level to anything I've ever watched it, especially from an English point of view. The relatability of it is ridiculous. Like, anyone who's gone through school in Britain around this time, or even earlier than that, like a lot of older people love the Inbetweeners, just relate to it. Like the characters, like what they're going through, like the little jokes, the little like things that are happening in school, everything about it, like the way they interact, the fact that they're all mates behind the scenes as well, it just shows in like the things that happen. I'm going to put like a few clips at the end of this, and you'll just see how many amazing like moments and quotes there are, and it's not even touching the surface. Every episode is like near perfect or perfect. I could not recommend this show enough to anyone, even outside of England. A lot of Americans who watch it enjoy it as well. So what more can I say about the Inbetweeners? Honestly, it will never be, and it's the show. Especially for someone who was going through school at a similar time, it just hit different. And it's going to have that nostalgia. And it's the most quotable show I think I've ever known. I haven't quoted a show this much, not even close. The amount of things that I say relating to the Inbetweeners. So yeah, it's got to be in the top tier.
You bumder!
Bus wankers!
Oh, Neil.
How much Lego can you stuff up your bum?
Oh, for Christ's sake!
So I had one bent over the table here. There was one up here who I was fingering, and I was just toe fucking the one on the floor.
Oh, God, no. Phil? Oh, friend!
Spread 'em. I'll be there in half an hour.
Consider it arseholes!
But not.
What?
Well, it's not. It's not relevant, is it?
And that one, she get it.
Right in the bum, holy.
Feisty one, you are.
I don't know. I think that's a bit dodgy, mate.
But unfortunately, we have to bring it down a little bit with the IT crowd or the IT crowd. I don't even know how you say this name. Just meh. it's either in the D or the E tier, honestly. I think Moss is a decent character, and it has its moments, but again, it's that kind of like British laughing track humor. I don't know how to describe it. It's just got a certain humor about it that you'll kind of like maybe notice a trend with some of the shows that I put towards the bottom. I just don't really rate it, honestly. I just think at times it's just a bit silly, but at the same time, it has its moments. It's not terrible. The two lads, the two main characters, are okay. They're not like dislikable or anything. I just don't feel like this show had enough for me to really stay interested. I have watched the whole thing through, but yeah, it's just not for me. Next up, Little Britain. We've already talked about Come Fly With Me. Little Britain for me is a little overrated. I'll be honest. I've watched this through. When you watch Come Fly With Me, it's like head and shoulders above it. And I get why people like Little Britain, because maybe at the time it was no one had ever done it before. The skits, like the fact that they had like no restrictions. They were just offensive. But I don't think the show's as clever as people make out. I think they were just brave in what they decided to do. A lot of the jokes are a bit repetitive, in my opinion, which kind of dumbs it down. Yeah, they do drag on the jokes a little bit for my liking. That being said, I think it's a bit of a pioneer in the genre. And if we didn't get Little Britain, we wouldn't have gotten Come Fly With Me. And I think it does have its moments in the show, 100%. So yeah, let's put it in the C tier. I think it's like a respectable level. So Max and Paddy's next on the list because this is alphabetical. But I'm going to talk about this after Phoenix Nights because it led on from that show. So Miranda, there's no other place to put this than the F tier. It's this show stinks, man. It's just cringe. I don't really have anything else to say about this show, if I'm being honest. The F tier is there for a reason. We've got to put something in this show. Respectfully, I do not get how people watch this. This show is pants, man. Let's just move on quickly. The Moaning of Life. It's the same kind of concept with Carl Pilkington traveling the world, except I don't know. They got like a slightly different storyline or concept regarding it. He's trying to like figure out the meaning of life in different cultures and different things people do to be happy. It's not Idiot Abroad, but it's still pretty good. They took a blueprint, changed it a little bit, and it was still decent. It wasn't as groundbreaking as an Idiot Abroad, but it's still good. So be it. I'll just put it in the B tier. Well, I kind of feel a bit bad about Miranda getting put in the F tier all by herself, but let's give the show some company. Mrs. Brown's Boys. I need to say anything else. Goofy, laughing track, pretty Marmitey show. Some people do like it. They made quite a few seasons, but a lot of people do not understand this show, and I'm definitely one of them. I can't watch this show. And I watched the movie as well. The movie is even worse, honestly. I'm going to do like a comedy movie tier list at some point in the future. That will be included, and spoiler alert, that ain't going to be very high either. I just don't think it's that funny. And again, I think the main gag was, oh, it's a guy in a dress playing the role of a woman. That was the whole gag with an Irish accent. Yeah, it's just a bit of a dumbed down show, in my opinion. And that and not going out, I might be a bit harsh with this one because I haven't watched the whole show through. So maybe it does improve as time goes on. And I think Lee Mack's a pretty funny comedian. I watched like the early parts of this show. I couldn't watch any more of it. I'm going to put it in the E tier just because I haven't concluded. I haven't watched the whole show to conclude it completely. But the way they force like little witty jokes, it's just constant. I don't know how. Unless you watch the show, you won't get what I mean. But it's just written in such a way to like get in as many like witty comments as possible. I can't really say anything other than that. I just think, yeah, it's just not for me. Next up, The Office, the UK Office, not the American one. Although this did work so the American Office could run. This is going straight in the A tier. I don't think it's as good as the American one. I'm going to put my hands up. Shoot me if you want. I think the American one takes it to another level. But the British one is still like top 5 in my opinion. Ricky Gervais, I think it's his best work, honestly. David Brent is a legendary character. Then you got Gareth as well in there. And just like the little storylines and things like Pete and Dawn, were like the original Jim and Pam, and they did that story like to perfection. How they built them up and then they got together right at the end. David Brent, like the quotes that you get from him and Gareth, unreal, unreal. What else can you say about this show? Like the awkward moments, and it's again like similar to the In-Betweeners, where the relatability. Like if you've worked in a dead end office job, it's just so it's like a really grey, moody, depressing TV show, and that's why it's so good because it feels realistic, and that makes David Brent's character even more ridiculous when you're placed in a realistic atmosphere with him behaving how he does.
Under weaknesses, you've put eczema.
It's not racist, though, is it? I don't say anything bad about black people.
It's about a black man's cock.
Why is that right?
Mine's massive and it ain't made of plastic.
David, I just don't understand this.
Well, the contestants run upstairs and they get a clue.
No, not the game show.
Right, I'm not gay. In fact, I can honestly say I've never come over a little queer.
Can't you discipline him?
Oh, kinky!
Next up, Only Fools and Horses. This is the one show that I'm going to put my hands up and say my opinion is wrong on this. Don't go at me in the comments, because this is just before my time, unfortunately. I'm going to put in the C tier because I can watch it. And I do enjoy watching it, but it's not something I would just sit through and watch it from start to finish. It's just, if it's on, I'll watch it. And I get what it's done for TV, but as someone who didn't grow up in that era, when you watch modern shows, it's just a different level, in my opinion. I think Only Fools and Horses is a good show. I get why people love it if you grew up with it. I understand it. Comparing it to other 80s comedies, it is way better. But for me personally, I think it's just a good show. I'll put it in the C tier. Don't come at me in the comments over this one, because I am putting my hands up and admitting that. The rest of the shows I'll say with my chest, but with this one, it's just a bit before my time. Okay, now Outnumbered. Outnumbered's a decent show, you know. It's quite Is it underrated? I'm not sure, but I think when I watch it, it does have its moments. Like the kids are very funny in this, and again, it's relatable. Like you've got two parents stressing about life, trying to get through day to day, and you've got these chaotic kids causing all these other issues around them, and some of the things they say. I'm torn really between the B and the C tiers. I think it's a very good show though. Either way, I've watched it through a couple of times, and yeah, I'll still continue to watch it in the future, I'm sure. Okay, next up, Peep Show, and yeah, straight in the A tier in my opinion. I think this might be behind the In-Betweeners, my second favourite show, just for longevity. Like this was it maybe like 9 seasons? It went on for quite a while, and it's sort of like the In-Betweeners in a sense, where it's like two guys, they're in a bit of a depressing situation. They're trying to like meet women and, I don't know, improve their lives, and they just can't. They have these awkward moments constantly and failures. It's just like the more adult version, you know, two people who are like in their 30s. But this show, in terms of like the chemistry between the two characters, then you got Super Hands as well. It's like the characters are so different. Mark is like this posh history nerd. Jez is like the druggy, unemployed sex addict who's a bit more better at socializing and like carries Mark a bit in that sense, but also drags him down by being how he is, lazy and stupid and kind of selfish. Super Hands is just a drug addicted maniac who's like the third friend. Some of like the awkward moments that happen in this, and I think the quality stays within the show all throughout. I think from start to finish, it keeps like a really good level, and you're hooked in on all the storylines that happen around it as well. So, also, I don't think there's any goofy moments or unrealistic moments. It's very much like a realistic show, and that's why all the dialogue that they write and all the situations that they put them in, it all feels more valuable to the show, if that makes sense. I'd 100% recommend Peep Show if you haven't watched it. And I feel like it isn't as popular mainstream-wise as some of the other shows on this list, but the people that have watched this show are obsessed with it. Like, its fan base are very, very like loyal and obsessed with this show. So if you haven't watched it, I would 100% recommend Peep Show.
Tasty. The secret ingredient is crime.
4 none, Jeremy. 4? That's insane.
A sausage has gone! Oh my God, Jeremy, a sausage is missing!
Now fuck me and pretend I'm your mom.
Is that normal pooing you do?
Piss yourself.
You're telling me to piss myself? You're such a...
Are you doing it already?
Yes, I'm doing it already.
Tell you what, that crack is really Moorish.
Has taken 4 grams of coke to relax him for his speech.
You didn't relax him.
I'll never forgive Orange if they've wiped the twins. Oh, that is shitty. Where are the bloody twins?
Yeah, Phoenix Nights, another Peter Kay show, one of his bigger ones, I'd say, and really put him on the map in the early 2000s, about just a social club up north in Bolton. Again, like, very relatable. It has that northern comedy that Peter Kay is known for. I don't think if you're from like London or the South, you're going to relate to this show as much. But I really like the writing in this show and the different characters and things. Yeah, Phoenix Nights for me, it grew on me a lot, and I think the comedy, again, it's pretty realistic, and obviously Brian Potter is just written perfectly, really. He's just hilarious. So yeah, for me, it's in the B tier. So Max and Paddy, I feel like they took these characters and they took them out of that pub atmosphere and more into the open. And I think they just had more situations to work with and created a funnier show, in my opinion. Only by a little bit. I think the episodes, particularly about them getting arrested and put into prison, are the funniest ones in the series. So yeah, like, the writing's similar, but I just think they had more to work with this. And they only got 6 episodes, which is a shame. But I think, yeah, both these shows are going to go in the B tier for me. Okay, we're going to the last few now. With Plebs, I haven't watched much of it, honestly. So you might think I'm being harsh. I'll put it in the E tier. From what I've seen, again, just didn't really find it funny. The only thing I will say is they did at least use a different concept, basing it in, like, I think it's like ancient Rome. I think so, or Greece or something. But I just don't remember laughing when I watched this show. So yeah, just the E tier, I guess. Ricky Gervais show, it's more like a podcast, really, but they had the animations of him, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington, and it had some like really funny moments in it. Not like the best show between the three of them, you know, Idiot Abroad is clear, but I'll put this in the C tier. I think it's pretty respectable. It has its funny moments to listen to. The Royal Family is a classic. Like, I talked about Only Fools and Horses being a bit before my time. The Royal Family is as well, but I feel like this show, it's just simplicity done perfectly for me. The fact that they're all sat around a TV every episode and just talking, and there's like many moments where they just sat there like staring at a TV. It's so like slow paced, and yeah, you could say boring in some parts, but it's written perfectly. Like, when they do have those moments, it just hits differently because it's not on the nose at all. It's very much like when you spot something, it feels like more rewarding, if that makes sense. Again, it's not like rammed down your throat. Like, it's not telling you when you need to laugh. There's like little things, like little facial expressions or little comments that you catch out, and I think that's like a show that's been well written. And again, like, that kind of like slow, mundane theme of the show, that's what gives it. That's like the charm of it as well. Then all like the Christmas specials that they used to do as well afterwards. I think they took the show to an even better level. Like the Golden Egg Cup, the new sofa, the Joe's Crackers. All these specials I think they elevate the show to another level. Apart from the last one, I don't think the last one was that good. Jim, Dave, Twiggy, the Nana, like they had some good characters, man. And finally, I'll put in Trolid. Trolley's quite underrated. I don't hear many people talk about this show, but, you know, based in a supermarket, again, it's got that relatability factor. A lot of people, it's a very common job, and it has its moments. It went on for a bit too long. I think it started to get more and more watered down towards the end. But I definitely think this show deserves its props, and it's definitely a C tier show. No higher, but no lower. I definitely say if you've watched all the shows above it in this list, I'd say, yeah, you should watch this. I don't think you'll be too disappointed. But yeah, that's my tier list. Let me know in the comments what you think. Any disagreements that you have, just be nice about it, please. If you enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I really appreciate it. Just that little thing, it will help the channel a lot and give me that bit more motivation to make more videos. Because it's hard, man, when you start a YouTube channel, trying to like get that motivation to do it every week or something. But if you want to see more tier lists, I am planning to do them in between my usual content. Just when I've kind of run out of ideas or fancy doing something a little bit different, I'm going to chuck these in as well. So yeah, and finally, obviously subscribe. I'm going to keep trying to make regular content on this channel, and I do appreciate any support that I get in these early stages, honestly. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you've made it to the end, I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.